Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for December 2025, if you can believe it. You have this Taurus card. It says perseverance. It says, remember, slow and steady wins the race. Awaken your inner bull to give you patience. And you have this Sagittarius card. It says expansion. You are ready to expand and move forward to your next lucky break. Love that. Sagittarius, your 10th house, we have this Mercury retrograde, which is ending on November 29th, the day, basically 24 hours before December starts or so. And so, again, Mercury is going to move back through your 10th house, because, Mercury is retrograding back to Scorpio, which you start with the Death card, which is interesting. I'm just connecting the dots for you here. And then when it moves back through in December, this could be very good for you, Pisces. You could be kind of like working on your career. You've had a lot of energy moving through your 10th. So even if you're not a 10th house Sagittarius Pisces, doesn't matter. In general, it is Pisces 10th house. So I feel a lot of you could be getting those benefits in like career, your public standing, things like that. Even if you don't have a career, it's still going to benefit you quite a bit. In your first row here, you have the Death card, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. Definitely time to leave something behind. I feel like the Expansion card and the Perseverance cards, like they are encouraging you to expand. I think you're expanding past purgatory energy is what I would call it. Eight of Cups, Four of Pentacles, the Death card. It's kind of like saying, okay, you've been living in purgatory for too long. You've been in this in-between world, Pisces, for a very long time, and now it's time for you to expand. It's almost like the universe has allowed you to just wander around purgatory is kind of like the feeling I get. So especially if this year, 2025, if you have not been feeling like, if you've been feeling like things haven't really been moving forward, or you've been kind of just wandering around, like I said, I kind of feel like this is your call to action, where the universe is saying like, okay, you took a break in 2025, you took some time for yourself or whatever you did. Maybe things were slow, but now it's time to get moving forward. Now it's time for that type of transformation. It's kind of a weird feeling on this Death card, because it's like, I feel like you need to make the change you think you're not ready for, is really what I feel on this card. So you might not feel like you are ready for a change. You might actually feel crazy for making a change here, Pisces, with the Eight of Cups. The thing about the Eight of Cups is he is walking away from something. These eight cups do provide him with a result. They do give him something in life, but it's just not fulfilling to him. And so, the Eight of Cups is all about choosing to not settle. And you have the Ten of Cups. So 10 of Cups is your ultimate fulfillment. And it's like the reading, I feel, is encouraging Pisces to do something to get closer to whatever ultimate fulfillment is for you. It could literally be anything, but, might require you to walk away from something that is producing a result. He's just choosing not to settle. And I always say, like, personally, I like the Eight of Cups, because, like, how is it a bad thing to walk away from things that don't serve you any longer? It's not, obviously. But some readers say he's walking towards the Nine of Cups, but he definitely doesn't know that. He just knows that he's walking into darkness, and he's choosing to send the signal to the universe that he's not going to settle. Again, when we stay in situations that don't fulfill us, we are telling the universe, this is okay, right? And so the universe is like, well, they are staying in this situation, so I can't, bring them something better. But when we choose to leave those situations, that's when we truly get something better. So I feel this is encouraging you to walk away. You probably already know what this is for you, Pisces. It's like, I feel like you're ready to reinvent yourself almost in this reading. I'm not really ready to say that in this reading. If we get like the Wheel of Fortune, the Magician, for example, then I will say that, this reading is definitely talking about you reinventing yourself, but we're not there yet. We'll see what comes up. You have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is holding on too tightly to something. So again, he thinks he's holding on to security, but really he's limiting himself. And so the first row is very clear to me. It's like you've been in purgatory for a long time. It's like you've probably been supporting yourself, but it's just a comfort zone, or it's just enough. If this is a job, for example, it's like maybe it is making you just enough to get by. And maybe you do have a little bit extra, but not what you truly want. And again, this is Neptune and Pisces is triggering this for you until January, where it's like trying to get you to do something that seems impossible. And yes, you're going to have to face some fears and, things like that. But I definitely want to encourage you, Pisces, of all people, to do this because it'll be good, right? Let's see. With the Death card, you have the Moon. The Death card has the two pillars from the Moon showing up right there. And the Sun is coming up between the two pillars on the Moon on the Death card. And so it can represent entering into a time of clarity. The Moon can just be you. So, I think this is saying that you are going through a transformation or a change. Like I said, I would love for either the Wheel of Fortune or the Magician to come up in this reading because, it would just really kind of solidify what I'm feeling for you here, Pisces. But the Moon is definitely a change. Now, the Moon, the Fool has to get from here to these mountains, and he's not sure where he's going. And you have this Work Through Your Fears card in the next row, and the Moon can kind of represent fears. But these aren't like real fears. These are like the fears of, am I good enough to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish? Am I going to be able to reach this finish line? They're like those smaller little fears that kind of get in the way. And those are the fears that I would be facing in the month of December, for sure. Yes, with the Eight of Cups, here you go. Wheel of Fortune. I think I said that on the Eight of Cups. So there you go. Love the Wheel of Fortune for you. Change in direction definitely gives me a little bit more of that reinvention vibe because we have to become something else to change our fortunes with the Wheel of Fortune. We also have to face fears. We have this snake on the side of the wheel. The snake represents fears, and snakes are guardians of portals. Circle cards in the tarot are portal cards. To get something better in life, we usually have that we don't have. We usually have to face some sort of fear to get it, and because the reason we don't have it is because of some sort of fear. And like I said, these aren't like real fears, like the fear of a roller coaster or something like that. These are like those tiny little blockages in the back of your head that tell you you're not good enough or that you can't do something. It's like it doesn't feel like a fear to you, right? But it is. If you want more money, it could be the fear of money. It's like maybe you don't even realize that you're afraid of making money, right? Or that you're afraid of, what will happen if you do make more money. And so those are the things I would take control of. With the Wheel of Fortune, we have to take control of the wheel. And I feel for the past 20 years of your life, Pisces, that you've probably been through some very fearful situations, especially between, I would say 2008 and 2016. That was kind of the peak of things in your life that could have been very fearful. And, those situations taught you, number one, the worst is over for Pisces. As I've said to you before, it's you need to realize that, the bad things are gone. and that doesn't mean that things won't come up, but, what I would say is you've been through the worst of it. It's you know how to handle what you need to handle, so you will be fine. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Wands. Perseverance, right? You have that Perseverance card. The Nine of Wands says don't give up, keep pushing. It's like I said, I don't mean this in a clickbaity way, but, I feel like saying the best is yet to come if you make a move, if you do something. It's I do get a little bit of a settling feeling here with the Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups, basically, where it's you've been trying to accomplish hard things in your life, and, it's maybe things are okay for you right now, and you might be saying to yourself, well, this is the best I can do, and I'm just going to stay here. And I feel like this is saying no. And I'm going to say no. The best is yet to come, Pisces. Yeah, you're going to have to put the work in. You're going to have to face some fears, but I believe in you. So keep pushing. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, here you go. You have this card that says conclusions are within reach. You have this card that says work through your fears. So you're probably much closer than you think, Pisces, and, I would just, keep going, basically, with this energy. I feel like you're getting there. Like I said, I think facing those little fears that might be, they might feel like a blockage, or, you might, like I said, I just get this feeling that you don't think of it as a fear. It's, it's just something else that you're thinking of it. But I feel if you would face it, that things would get a lot better. You have the Devil, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. The Devil's been coming up a lot recently, and I do feel like we have to be careful of, toxic vibes, toxic energy. This started coming up in November for people. And, again, you have to think that Mercury has to go back through, where it retrograded. So there could be something about that Mercury retrograde that brought up toxic energy. So I would say for like the first half of the month, I would completely avoid anything that seems like it could be toxic, right? And if you do that, I feel like you'll be fine. Like, I'm not even worried about the devil. I just feel it's saying, pay attention to anything toxic. Also avoid bad habits, of course, as well. With the Seven of Pentacles is my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's looking at the work he has been doing. And it's like, is it really adding up to the life that he desires? Is it adding up to the Ten of Cups? I would say for you, no, it's not adding up to that yet. And so I feel this is like a game for you, Pisces, where in a good way, I mean that in a good way, where you need to look at the results you're getting. And I feel there are changes in like work, career, especially with the Mercury in your 10th house, of course, going back through your 10th house this month. I think there will be opportunities for you to do things like work or, create projects or whatever the hell you do. And where you can kind of like say, I do this, I get this result up here, and the result should be up here, right? It's like you should be doing something here that gets you a bigger, expansive result with that expansion card. And so I would really be looking at your results. I think there's some things you do that aren't worth it and some things that you do that are, right? And I think also that over the next many years, you are going to learn that there are ways that you can work that get you an even better result. So I would be really paying attention to results. I definitely feel like there's a major work change. I mean, it is time for Pisces to make money. And, I've said this to you all year, basically. So whatever you can do to improve your financial situation, learning new ways to invest in finances, learning new ways to deal with your finances, overcoming money blocks, like all that is what I would be doing. You have the Page of Cups. Could be an admirer coming in for you. You do have a little bit of love in this reading. Again, the next few years are pretty good for you, Pisces, as far as love is concerned. So, I don't know. I just feel like you're a little bit resistant to this for some reason. I do feel like some of you could have a person coming in. And for whatever reason, you have the Knight of Pentacles right next to it. Knight of Pentacles is like no movement, right? And so, I don't know. I just feel a little bit of resistance here. Is it like the end of the world? No, of course not. I do feel it would be a good person, though. So if you have a person coming in, I think it would be worth it, is what I'll say there. With the Devil, you have the Star, which is amazing. Definitely very positive. I mean, you could be doing a lot of healing and resting, relaxing, recovering. You could be healing from past toxic connections as well. You have this past life card coming up at the end of your reading. So you could be like closing out karmic cycles, like healing from those things. You could even be healing from past life things. We still have the North Node Pisces, South Node Virgo. For Pisces, North Node Pisces, South Node Virgo is very past life karmic stuff. So you could be processing things that are from a past life and you don't even realize it. And, obviously that would be a good thing. The Star is also like hope, faith, renewal. And I do feel like the Ten of Cups could be something that is bringing you hope, and we'll see what that is in just a minute. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the King of Cups, you showing up here. Pretty good, Pisces. Again, I think you are changing. You are maybe reinventing yourself. Again, I would still love to see the Magician come up in this reading because, it would really lock that message in. I'm glad we have the Wheel of Fortune. That's pretty close. That's close to what I want in this reading. But the King of Cups is sitting in the middle of the ocean. And the whole point of the card is that he has very stable emotions. He has explored his emotions to a deep level. So I think working on your emotional state and keeping it positive with the Ten of Cups would be good. With the Page of Cups, you have the Five of Wands. Yeah, like I said, I feel a little bit of resistance with a person here. If you're meeting a person here, it's like, Five of Wands is conflict or competition. And you might be thinking that this person has a lot of people. It's like maybe you meet a person and you feel like they're a player or something like that. And I'm definitely not telling you to ignore that, but I also think that you might be a little bit wrong, right? So, it might be worth it to give a person a chance. It's just kind of like the feeling I have here. You do have the Knight of Pentacles here. So, that kind of says that you might be willing to be patient, or you might just take your time and see how things go. And I do think that would be good. Next in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Between Worlds card. Cannot make that up. I didn't even see that. You have this Unfinished Symphony. The Between Worlds card is like my purgatory card. That flamingo is going from black and white to color. Very good. It says that your life is about to become more vibrant and more exciting. The Unfinished Symphony card kind of says you need to finish something. I think a lot of you Pisces have been working towards a specific goal. You have that Star card, which is like having a North Star, having one big thing that you want to accomplish, and it's time to finish, especially before, really you have a few years, but before Saturn gets into Aries, I would like, if you can do something to make progress on something that you've been working on, it would be extra beneficial if you did that before Saturn gets into Aries, which is going to be around your birth time. February 26th is when it goes back into Aries next year, 2026. So, what I would say is if you can kind of get moving, that would be good. It's not going to be bad if you wait until next year, but it's just going to require more discipline, right? But I would say that, finishing something is going to be very good for you. You have the Ten of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family. So again, if you're attracting love, you could be attracting a very solid person. I almost feel like this is something that's giving you a little bit of hope. It's like the universe is re-inspiring you, or the universe is re-motivating Pisces. I feel that you'll feel this most when Mercury goes direct on the 29th. Although the 27th could be a good day for you as well, of November, if you're watching this reading early. Neptune goes direct on the 27th in Pisces, so maybe it is the 27th that you feel more motivated or re-motivated. It's like the universe is kind of like re-inspiring you to work on something you've been working on. Again, I really feel like this part of the reading is talking about something you've already been doing that just hasn't taken off yet, right? And I would put that work in. It's like you're seeing something, but the thing with the Ten of Cups is we have to bring those cups down. They exist above your head, so I would definitely take action. You have the Page of Wands. As always, I think you need more fun. This is going to be, again, more important next year, 2026, but it's going to be important this year as well. So, even though we only have 1 month left, I would still be doing things that bring optimism and joy and peace into your life. This could be personal things, hobbies, interests, family, people that matter to you, stuff like that. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is like slow, steady progress. I do feel like you're making progress, but it feels a little slow. Could also be a person. This could be why you're nervous about a person as well. Like if a person is moving slowly, or if they're not, if they're not like engaging as much as you would like, that could also be the problem. Because I just get this feeling of you. It's like a person comes in, Page of Cups. You like them, but there's something about that player vibe, which could be that they're slow or they move slowly, and so you might be thinking like, okay, they don't really engage, they don't really, they're kind of like slow to respond, and things like that. So of course, I always say I would communicate. I think we get in trouble when we don't open our mouths. So if they're moving too slowly, maybe you need to say something, right? Pisces, also make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords, like this or that thinking. Two of Swords, we have to realize that there's another way we can do things. She's thinking this or that, but she has this island behind her, which kind of represents a third place solution. And so I do feel the universe could be inspiring you with like a third place solution, another way of doing whatever it is that you're creating. So I would really pay attention with the Star and this card to your inspirations this month of December. Let's see. With the Page of Wands, you have the Hangman, which is you. You show up a lot in this reading. Moon, King of Cups, this card, even the Page of Cups could be you. So the Hangman is about seeing things from a new perspective. I definitely feel that you could be having a little bit of a breakthrough this month, a change in your fortunes, breakthrough type thing. It feels like just another way of doing things. Like, again, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like if you're working on a project, you could be discovering a new approach, like a different way of doing it that makes it stand out, or a unique way of working. That's what he's doing. He's hanging upside down. He's looking at things from a new perspective, and that would be very helpful. With the Knight of Pentacles here, you have the Queen of Cups, divine counterparts. So you could be attracting a divine counterpart here. Like I said, so if you want love that looks really, really good, could be any sign. Earth and water definitely stand out to me, but like I said, it could be any sign that's coming in for you, so looks good. Next, in your outcome row for the good stuff, you have this change card. It says change or movement in your life, new direction, relocation, progress, change of view. Yes, all that I think would be good for you, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. You have this past life. It says past events, people from the past life connection, history, memories, familiarity, old soul. So definitely could be attracting like a past life person as well. I think this came up for you, Pisces, recently, maybe in November at one of those readings, but definitely could be a past life person for sure. You have the Three of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. Three of Swords in the good stuff would represent healing your heart, so it would obviously be a good time to heal and to remove those swords from your own heart. Again, the Three of Swords, we have to forgive the past, and we have to remove those swords from our heart. Again, we don't have to forgive a person directly or anything like that. We can just do it inside of ourselves, and by doing that, we will heal. You have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is equal give and take. It's giving to this person, not this person. He's giving to this person because he gets something back. So Seven of Pentacles, this card, I would say anything that you're working on, relationship, business, project, idea, as long as you are getting something back for what you're doing, I would keep going. That is your clue that is working. If you're not getting something back, then number one, I would call it out because that might change things. Number two, if that doesn't work, then I would move on, right? Plain and simple. Six of Pentacles, I always say, is pretty cut and dry. It's like, if we're getting something back for what we're giving to a situation, great, keep going. If you're not getting something back, then it's probably time to make a change. You have the Five of Wands. Again, Five of Wands can be conflict or competition. I'm kind of getting two messages here. Number one, if you're working on something like a project, like I said, where there is a lot of competition, I feel like you need to realize that you have learned enough to stand out above the competition. It's almost like there is no competition, but you haven't gotten something to the point where there can be no competition. So it's like the reading is saying it's time for you to stand out, it's time for you to rise to the top, but you have to do it, and there is no competition. I also feel that learning from the competition would be very good. I always say with the Five of Wands, we should look at the competition, see what they're doing, see what they're not doing, and if we pay attention to that and we do what they're not doing, then we can become very successful. And, that's what I would do with this card for sure. So let's see what comes up for you. With the Three of Swords, you have the Ace of Swords. Could be a victory coming in for you. This could be some sort of truth as well. Again, it's the end of the retrograde right now. At the time of me recording this video, it's November 21st. And so, I'm going to publish this on the 22nd. You might be watching it early. There could be like an apology or information or news or whatever coming in from a past person that heals a situation. So that, that's definitely popping into my head. I feel this, again, I really wish the Magician would show up in this reading. I'm not going to try to force it to happen, but, it's like the Ace of Swords is your truth. If we had the Magician here, and even we don't, but, even though we don't, I feel it. And so with the Ace of Swords, we don't have to worry about anything external. And, we just have to focus on our truth. What is the truth for us? And then everything else will fall into place. So I would definitely focus on that. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the King of Wands. I think I've been saying to you all year that when you get the King of Wands, that the King of Wands is who you are becoming. Yes, I understand you're not a fire sign. I get that. But you are becoming more bold, more assertive, more confident, more sure of yourself. Pisces definitely has the gift of foresight. The King of Wands has the gift of foresight, so you could be seeing future opportunities before they manifest, and, I would be, if you see something, work towards it. With the Five of Wands, you have the Three of Swords, again, healing. I feel like you could be fearing that your heart will be broken again. Pisces has definitely had their fair share of heartbreaks over the past few years, and I feel this is saying, like, you need to heal that part of yourself that worries about heartbreak so that you can get something good. You have this clouds card. It says temporary problems. I think your temporary problems are clearing up. Death card with the sun coming up behind the moon, behind the two pillars on the moon. I feel a lot of you could be overcoming any issues. You have this career card. Yes, Mercury moving back through your 10th house. Wouldn't surprise me if some of you were kind of like focused on career things. Even if you don't have a career, you could be just working on something important. You have this dog far away. It says a distant friend is thinking of you. Yeah, if anyone pops into your head, or if you're thinking about a person you haven't talked to in a while, it might be a good time to reach out. You have this horseshoe. It says good luck on it. Definitely good luck coming in for you at this time. And your last card is this 4-leaf clover. It says great good fortune. Damn, Pisces. 2 very lucky things showing up for you. So there could be a lot of luck or change in your fortunes with the Wheel of Fortune this month. I feel like you're working towards it. It's going to come through. It's almost like you need to create a breakthrough. It's like, especially for those of you that have been working on something specific that you haven't, published or haven't put out into the world, whatever it is, right? It could even be yourself that you've been working on. But that's where the luck is going to come from, I feel, in this reading. So there you go. Pretty simple reading. I like it, Pisces. But thank you for being here. Make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your December.